Beautiful human beings, welcome to today's episode of Soul Speaks with SPAC. In this episode, we are going to be diving deep into how you as a woman can best support your man on his journey of healing, growth, and transformation. And at the end of this episode, as always, I'm going to share some practical steps that you can start using today to bring your man closer, to actually magnify the love and the connection and the intimacy that you guys get to experience together. So stick around and make sure you don't miss those practices at the end. Without further ado, let's dive in. To kick this episode off, I got a question for you, and I want you to let me know what resonates with you in the comments. Do you think any of the following? I wish my man would just get me. I wish my man would show up without me having to ask. I wish my man understood me. I wish my man would do the healing work. I wish my man just got it. My man is a work in progress. He's a project. He has all of this childhood trauma that is destroying our relationship. And here's why this mentality is a huge problem, and it is putting up a wall between you and your man. It is going to lead to him becoming very bitter and resentful towards you, and it is not going to get him any closer to doing any quote unquote healing work. The reason this is a huge problem is because men especially do not respond positively to blaming, shaming, projecting, and complaining. Okay, a man responds positively to being challenged, to being honored, to being invited in. And I'm going to break down all of these in a moment so that you can make sense of it. But to give you some context, if you grew up in a household as a young woman, as a girl, where men were shamed, men were not valued, men were not honored, women were equal to men, women were just as good, if not better than men. A woman doesn't need no man. If your mother told you that you need to be an independent woman, you cannot rely on a man, you cannot trust a man, men are not safe. Just know that all of these ideas and these stories that your mother projected onto you have become ingrained in your psyche. And so therefore, this is how you meet all the men in your life. If you can really sit with this question right now, how many men do you actually admire in your life? How many men are you in awe of? How many men do you really value in your life? If it is less than 5, if it is less than 2, if it is less than 1, then there is a huge problem with that. Let me make this crystal clear. I am not in any way saying that men are superior to women. In fact, I believe this push, this drive for equality that is ingrained into our society is creating a major divide. It is pulling us away from our own unique gifts as men and as women. I believe we have gifts that complement one another when we allow ourselves to frickin' embrace them. But this push for equality has created this divide, this separation, this lack of honoring and acknowledging the opposite sex and embracing the beautiful qualities that they bring. Instead, we want to mold them into what we think they should be, or into another version of us. So if you as a woman right now are shaming, blaming, and complaining towards your man because he's not showing up in the way that you would show up, just understand that he's not meant to show up in the way that you would show up. He has his own unique set of gifts that he brings to the relationship. He complements you in such a way. And until you can understand this and embrace your man for who he is, you're always going to be disappointed. He's never going to meet this high bar that you've set for him. He's never going to meet your expectations because he was never meant to show up in the way that you would show up, because he is a masculine man. He has his own unique gifts that he brings to the relationship, and it is time for you to honor and embrace that. Let me make it clear, I am not in any way saying that you should embrace poor behavior or abuse of any type. Absolutely not. Now that we've got that covered, we're going to pivot, and I want to highlight a huge problem that I see playing out between men and women. And this is something that I notice on a lot of the social media posts that I put out. There are women in the comments blaming men, shaming men, complaining about men, and they're connecting over this hate, this frustration that they feel towards men. And this is just perpetuating this narrative. It's perpetuating this divide, and it's keeping these women stuck in this little box, this little reality that they've created, this belief that they have about men. And until they're able to step out and see the bigger picture, until they're able to get out of the frame and see the bigger picture, they're going to continue to meet men with this same limited view, this same limited perspective. And these men are going to continuously reflect back these limited views that they have So this right here is a huge problem because these women have such a fixated view on the way that men are, and they've boxed all men into this way of being. They continue to experience that through every man that they see. They're looking for that subconsciously. They're looking for that in other men that they meet. And as soon as one little thing happens, it's a confirmation of that belief they have. And so the fact is, if they continue with these same beliefs, they are never going to experience a true connection with a man because they don't value men. They think that they're above men. And this is a huge freaking problem. This is a huge problem. And this is why if you as a woman want to truly connect with a man, it is so important to meet him with the level of curiosity. So if you're a woman who actually wants to better understand your man, learn to listen to him without an agenda, without being attached to what he's going to say, without taking it personally, without interrupting him. Just allow him to fully express himself. And when he's done expressing himself, give him more space because I guarantee there's still more to come through. He just hasn't had the safety to be able to express himself fully. And if you can detach yourself from what he is saying, if you can stop taking it so personally, if you can stop being so focused on all the things that you want him to say, then he's going to start to feel more free to express himself. And this is going to bring you guys closer together. And this is going to enhance the love, the connection, and the intimacy that you guys get to experience as a couple. The next huge problem I observe with women who are trying to get their man to do the work, and they're trying to support him, but they're going about it the total opposite way. They're sending him videos of childhood trauma and healing. And what happens is a man internalizes this as, I'm not good enough, I'm unworthy, what I'm doing for the relationship is already not enough. I've got so much further to go. A man sees this in such a linear way. And what does this do? This leaves him feeling a sense of helplessness and emptiness inside because he feels as though he's not enough. It's this belief that he has already within himself. And you sending him these videos, even though you may have a good intention doing it, is reaffirming this belief that he is not enough, that he'll never be enough, that he will never live up to your expectations, this bar that you set so high. So again, this all comes back to this idea that men respond positively to being challenged. They respond positively to being honored. They respond positively to being invited into your world, to see who you are, to see and hear what you value. So if you as a woman actually want to help your man and support him on his journey of healing and get him to do the work, it is essential that you get clear on what you value. If you observe a pattern playing out in the relationship, if you observe your man getting angry and frustrated, and this is leading to you feeling unsafe, it is important for you to communicate this to him in a way that invites him in. You can say, babe, I love you. I care about you. I know the man that you are. I know this anger isn't the true representation of who you are. I know it is just an aspect of an unhealed little boy that is living within you. So in these moments, I would really value if you can take a moment to go out and to be with the anger, to process the anger and come back so that we can communicate in a level-headed way. This would make me feel safe. This would make me feel valued. This is what would help us grow as a couple. Can you feel the difference between that and blaming and shaming your man and saying, I hate you, you're an angry man, you're a horrible person, all of these hurtful things that you don't actually mean? There is a huge difference because now what you've done is you've honored yourself. You've honored your man. You've seen the bigger picture. You know that this is just an unhealthy pattern that is playing out from childhood. And you've communicated honestly. You've communicated authentically. You've communicated what is important to you. And you've invited your man in to see this vulnerable side of you, right? This is fucking powerful if you are able to bring this into the situation. If you are able to meet this situation and see through all of the pain and see the situation for what it truly is, this is where the true healing occurs. This is powerful. And if this has resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And if you've got any questions around this, let me know in the comments as well. And trust me, I know firsthand that it can feel way more challenging to show up with this level of openness and vulnerability and curiosity in the moment, especially when emotions are high, especially when there is a lot of energy and feelings that are coming to the surface. But these are the moments that really count. These are the moments that can lead to incredible transformation, and connection. So ladies, I'm going to suggest to you, for the sake of your relationship, to stop sending your man these little trauma healing videos, because this is not going to inspire him to do the work. This is actually going to lead to him feeling a sense of shame, and it's going to perpetuate this idea that what I am doing is not already enough. I will never meet this bar that my woman has set so high, these expectations that she has of me. I'm just never going to make it. I'm never going to be enough for her. And what does this do? This just destroys the connection. This destroys the safety within the relationship, because you're sending him this video that someone else has created, and he watches it and instantly thinks, well, I'm not enough. Who I am is not enough. I'm not good enough right now. And I know that your intentions are probably not to make him feel that way, but this is how he is likely internalizing what it is that you're sending through to him. He's internalizing it as, what I'm doing already is not enough. I am not enough. I'm never going to meet the expectations of my partner. And this creates a sense of unsafety. This creates a sense of unworthiness within him that probably was already there. So now you know a dramatic shift can occur when you honor yourself, you honor your man, and you invite him in to see you, to see that vulnerable side of you. There is a huge difference between calling your man out and calling your man forward. Calling your man out comes from a place of shaming, blaming, and complaining. Calling your man forward comes from a place of honoring, valuing, and inviting him in. There is a huge difference within the energy behind these two actions, calling out and calling forward. So that is my challenge and my invitation to you, is to start honoring yourself, is to start understanding and valuing your needs, and to start communicating those with your man in a way that invites him in a way that calls him forward, in a way that challenges him, in a way that honors him. I guarantee this is going to make a massive shift in the connection, the love, the intimacy that you two get to experience as a couple. Beautiful human beings, this wraps up today's episode of Soul Speaks with SPAC. As always, if you know someone that will benefit from this episode, be a good friend and pass it forward. We are here to grow together. And as always, if you found something valuable within this episode, share it on your social media. Let me know what it was that you learned. I love seeing how these episodes benefit you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. If there's anything you want me to include in future episodes, let me know. And I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for being you. Have an amazing day. Venture beyond limitation. Until the next one, let's go, fam.